Hi, this is Dr. Leeds, Dr. Mark Leeds of the Rehab Podcast, and today is going to be a special episode. We are going to talk about Brixadi, which is a new injectable form of buprenorphine. There currently is on the market one injectable buprenorphine, which is a monthly injection. In the past, I believe there may have been other forms of injectable buprenorphine that were used for treating pain. But as far as buprenorphine being used to treat opioid addiction or opioid use disorder, there's only one current injectable on the market, which is Sublocade. Sublocade is a subcutaneous injection. That means it's injected just under the skin on the abdomen, and the injection lasts through the entire month. Patients come in on a monthly basis and they get their Sublocade injection. Sublocade has to be administered monthly, and it's shipped from a specialty pharmacy straight to the doctor's office. The doctor has to be there or have staff on hand to receive the shipment, has to be signed for. It comes refrigerated, so it can't be left out of the refrigerator for very long. Actually, it can be left out for some time, but once it's been left out, it has to be administered within a week. So if your patient is not going to be coming in within a week, it really has to be refrigerated. Um, and there's two strengths. There's a 300 milligram and a 100 milligram Sublocade injection. So a patient usually would start with a 300 milligram and then go to, well, the next month they get 300 milligrams again, so they get that 2 months in a row. Then on the third month, they usually go down to 100 milligrams and stay on that long term. And when the patient is at some point ready to come off of the medication, they just don't get another injection and it gradually leaves their system. Okay, so we're going to look at Brixadi here online. Let's look at this first link, FDA approval status. Okay, drugs.com. It's the first thing to come up. So you can see here, it's buprenorphine is the generic name. It's an extended release injection. The company is Braeburn. Braeburn is a company that also brought us Probufene is the implant form of buprenorphine. It's a 6-month implant. It's implanted in the arm right here. There's typically 4 rods are implanted and left in place for usually 6 months. So Brixadi is a long-acting partial opioid agonist injection formulation in development for the treatment of opioid use disorder. Uh, so far that reads just like Sublocade, but there are some differences. So let's go out of here. Apparently Brixadi has partial approval. You can see here there's some legal considerations. It was explained to me that it's something of a patent dispute. Um, okay, here. This is July 23rd of this year, 2019. Plymouth meeting. The U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia granted Braeburn's motion for summary judgment, vacating the U.S. Food and Drug Administration's, the FDA's December 2018 exclusivity determination, which blocked Brixadi from final approval through November 30th, 2020. Braeburn's application for final approval of Brixadi is remanded back to FDA for reconsideration with deliberate speed. So it looks like it'll get final approval next November at least, even if it doesn't get it sooner. Of course, some experts have said that they would like Brixadi to be released as soon as possible because we need competition on the market. Without competition, when you have only one product out there, they price it very high. Sublocade, if you don't use your insurance, costs about $1,500 per injection, maybe a little bit more than that. And they kind of own the market. Now, Brixadi comes in 8 milligrams, 16 milligram, 24, 32. Those are weekly versions of it. Then they have monthly, 64 milligram, 96 milligram, 128 milligrams. Uh, I understand that it doesn't have to be refrigerated. That's what I was told. I don't see that mentioned here. So those are a few advantages. You see, it comes in a variety of different strengths. So, there's a lot more flexibility. Let's see. Okay, here's actually Braeburn's website. So Brayburn is dedicated to providing these addiction treatment medications, these really unique ones for longer term treatment, to let people have a good quality of life without having to worry about taking medication every day. That's a big advantage of these injectables. Okay, here. So on Brayburn's website, they talk about the Plymouth meeting, the same thing we just saw. They talk about how you have 8 milligrams all the way up to 128. They have the weekly and monthly versions. It's delivered with a thin 23 gauge needle administered in the buttock, thigh, stomach, or upper arm. So that gives more flexibility of injection sites. And Brixadi does not require refrigeration, and therefore facilitates reduced storage logistics. That's a real problem. We've had issues with Sublocade being shipped, and it arrives. We actually had one injection where there was a hurricane and it kind of got lost. Where it wasn't lost. It was on a FedEx truck, which I would think they would have better ways to deliver these kind of medications. But anyway, it got stuck on the FedEx truck. They showed up when we weren't there very early in the morning, and then the hurricane came, and so this injection, which should have been kept refrigerated, was on a truck, and we couldn't get it, and it ended up being this $1,500 plus injection was had to be destroyed, and we were sent a new one. So if with Brixadi, we wouldn't have had that issue. It doesn't have to be refrigerated. So we can expect to see Brixadi in the market as a new option by at the latest, I guess, at the end of next year, and hopefully sooner than that. So I encourage you to look it up, do your own research. It's Brixadi, Brixadi. This is either a weekly or monthly injectable form of buprenorphine. So it's an alternative to things such as Suboxone, Subutex, ZubSolv, and similar buprenorphine-based medications for medication-assisted treatment of opioid use disorder, or generally the treatment of opioid or opiate dependence or addiction. Okay, thank you for joining me today on this video short version of the Rehab Podcast.